What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Tim Talks, the real estate show where we talk about real estate, life, and a little bit of everything else. Ethan, roll the intro music. Welcome back.
And we're back.
It's another week.
It's another whole week.
We're here.
It's Friday.
Ethan's still here.
I'm still here.
We won't get into that. It is Friday. That is exciting for people who are not real estate agents.
Yep.
Because for me, that means absolutely nothing. I have a day full of appointments tomorrow, a day full of appointments on Sunday, and there's no end in sight.
There you go.
So this is my life.
Turn up.
I want to kill myself.
Hey, about like 60, you'll just be hanging out, doing the same thing.
Probably doing the same thing.
But just
I'm
for
not
fun.
gonna lie.
But just for
Yeah,
fun.
I'm not gonna lie. Today I'm tired. Today made me today I had a realization about life and real estate, and that realization came to me on the 5th of 5 hill sprints that I did today.
Yeah.
And I got to the top of the hill, and just hands on my knees. I just trying to do anything and everything to stop the pain that I was feeling. It's that kind, when you lift something heavy, you throw it down, like your muscles like immediately start to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
When you usually finish a run, immediately you start to feel better. When you are playing basketball and you come off the court for a break, immediately you start to feel better. When you finish a hill sprint, man, that shit's with you for a solid 15 minutes, man. It's not going away.
Yikes.
I was sitting there I was like, God, take me. Please release me from this pain.
Come on, heart, just stop.
Please, yes. You're in the mic right now.
Am I on speaker right now?
You're not on speaker, but the mic can definitely pick up what you're saying.
Oh, can I say something on the podcast?
Say something for the podcast.
Um,
The moon landing was fake.
Dad advice. No. I have dad advice.
Dad advice. Okay, hold on. Okay, send it.
Okay, I have dad advice. I'm trying to remember the exact wording my father told me. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
That's awesome.
Classic.
Thank you, Christian. That was Christian Chorbajan's corner. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope you have a fun time today.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Legendary. Legendary.
Yeah, no, it was horrible. I for like 15 minutes, I threw up like 5 times. It was just,
Expel the demons.
God, it was bad. It was real bad. I've never regretted doing something more than I was regretting doing that in the moment, because I was like, you should be, once you're done running or whatever you do, usually you feel good. You're like, I did it. Awesome. No, this was just pure pain. Just
Like that was not worth it.
suffering. What it made me realize is that a lot of what we do, our jobs, even some of our personal lives. I mean, I don't know, like maybe you're realizing this with Heidi. No, that life, and what you're doing for work, especially if you're doing something like going out on your own and running your own business, it is a marathon, but you're sprinting the whole time. And that is what I felt today. And that's what I realized I've been feeling about my work lately. Is like, I feel like I am in a marathon that I'm sprinting the entire time. If I sound like an insane person?
No,
Okay.
I think it's I think everyone's has a different experience with that, but yeah, I think when you're becoming successful in what you're doing, it starts to get like very crazy. And you're running. I mean, life in general is a marathon, but yeah, sprinting during a marathon, it's pretty brutal.
Pretty terrible.
So I would hope at some point you start to get to more of a jog while still having the same success.
Yeah, I also hope to get to a jog at some point, because
maybe you need a team to have like the Pope cart come by and drive you for a little bit, and then you can get dropped off and keep going.
That's actually the goal. If you want to join my real estate team, please reach out to me.
Hop on.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping to do that at some point. But yeah, I think it's that I think as long as you can realize that, if you
Yeah.
can realize it, that's a big piece of the process.
Well, I think I think it's a point in business that you need to get to the point where you need help, and then you
Mhm.
can hire help, and then you can get more business, and then you can hire more help.
Yeah. I was listening to, and thankfully no one listens to this podcast, so otherwise we'd probably get hate for it. But I was listening to 3 people, David Goggins,
Mhm.
Jordan Peterson, and Andrew Tate. That's the one that I'm going to get hate
Nice.
for.
Nice.
But, and a lot of people don't like these people.
Mhm.
A lot of people think that, Goggins is a psychopath.
Yeah.
A lot of people think Jordan Peterson is misogynistic and just weaves lies. And everyone hates Andrew Tate for a lot of different reasons.
Plethora of things.
But when I was listening to them talk about driving after a goal and staying motivated and happiness,
Right.
what they were all talking about was pushing your limits and kind of testing and seeing how far you could go. And something that Goggins said was when you're pursuing a dream and you're pursuing a goal, it's okay to be unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of hit hard because a lot of people around me have been telling me for a long time, you're not balanced right now, man. Like you're working too hard over here and you're not balanced. And Goggins said, well, hell yeah, if you're going to be successful, you have to go through a period where you're unbalanced so that you can get to a point where you can become balanced.
Right.
Because if you don't do that, then you're just gonna be chasing mediocrity instead of success.
Right.
So that was kind of a big lesson that I kind of took away from those guys. Peterson said, when you're in your 20s, you should be basically pursuing the how muches of life.
Right.
How much can I push myself? How much can I take on? How much time can I spend working? And he said it's not the same for everyone. He said maybe you can only spend 3 hours working. Maybe you can spend 8 hours working. Maybe you can spend 12 hours working. But see how much you can do.
Right.
And then push it to that limit. Because a lot of people don't ever actually get to their limit because they're afraid of seeing how much they can do.
Right.
They're afraid of breaking themselves. And likewise, and Andrew Tate kind of comes in, and obviously there's a lot that he says that I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do agree with is that he has this mentality regarding success, and he has this mentality regarding what it takes to be great. And he doesn't. He said, "I've tried to think in terms of the way other people think, and being complacent and being okay doing the things that I'm doing that are bad, and I can't do that." He said, if you talk to a person who he would consider sorry, who spends every day, they don't have a job, they spend every day playing video games in their parents' basement,
Right.
and he said he'll get emails from those people. They say they're unhappy with themselves, and he said, no, they're not unhappy with themselves. They're actually happy doing what they're doing, and for maybe 3 days of the week, they feel bad about it and they're unhappy about what they're doing. But 4 days of the week, they're perfectly fine doing what they're doing, which means that they're happy with the choices that they're making. Because one of two things, because he said there's only one of two things that could be happening. They're either afraid to change and see what it would be like to not do that, or they're actually happy with what they're doing.
Right.
So
I think another thing that ties into that is they know it. Like it's safety to them. Like it's a big safety net. Like people who live with their parents, play video games, whatever. Like if living with your parents is going to save you a ton of money right now, so you can put a down payment on a house and get your own thing, and you're single and whatever.
If you have a goal, that's a different thing.
Go for it. But if you're just like, this is fine with me. Like I'm not trying to go anywhere else with this.
This is who I am,
Yeah, it's just a big safety net, and you might not be living to your fullest potential and giving the world what you had to offer and what you were supposed to be doing with your life. I mean, video games are super fun.
Yeah, they are awesome.
I grinded on Skate 3 last night for like 30 minutes. I'm like, I need more time to play this, but I had no more time. But
yeah, but you also went to work for 10 hours or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Woke up at 6, started packing and prepping for shoots, and then got done with my day around, like, done shooting with things around like 6:30. Went home, edited, had dinner, played Skate 3, went to bed.
You have like a 14-hour day of work.
Yeah, work a lot.
That's completely different, you know? And you pushed the limits on what you could do. You said, how much can I work today? You said, how much energy and effort can I put into this? And you did it. You didn't get halfway through your day and go, I can't do this anymore. Okay, I'm going to go home.
And I'm checked out.
I am going to mail it in today. That's it. You didn't do that. You went out and you got your work done, and, you know, of course, give yourself a little reward at the end of the day. There's nothing wrong with that.
You gotta be happy at some point in your day, or you're just gonna be sad.
Oh, you're gonna be sad all the time. Yeah, yeah, and that's not what those guys are saying. You know, what they're saying is there's just people that are afraid to break out of the, I guess it was such like a sad cycle of living, you know? And it got me thinking, like, there are a lot of unhappy people in this world because they're so complacent with the lives that they're living right now.
Right.
And they're not going after something. They don't have something that they're chasing.
Right.
And yeah, I was standing at the top of the hill today, hands on my knees, like wanting my life to physically end in that moment. But also, in that moment, there was a realization that, yeah, that freaking sucks, but you know what? I am here and I'm doing it. And yeah, the pain is making me want to end things. But mentally, I'm getting sharper and sharper and sharper, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. The name of Goggins' book it's You Can't Hurt Me, right? That's the name.
Yeah, Can't Hurt Me.
You Can't Hurt Me.
He has 2.
Yeah,
very similar
the big
titles.
one is You Can't Hurt Me.
Right.
He talks about having 21 stress fractures while going through Navy SEAL camp. I can't imagine. I had 1 stress fracture and I was on crutches.
Yeah.
You know, but to get to a point where you're mentally so sharp that you can deal with something like that.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And other people call that psycho, like just you're a psychopath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, then he did he had barely ran one whole marathon once, and then did an ultra marathon, and went through kidney failure and was having all these issues, and he was like peeing blood, like I won't say it. He defecated on himself, had all these issues during his ultra marathon, had a terrible time, thought I was gonna die, and then his I think it was his girlfriend at the time, threw him into the car, drove him home, and she's like, we have to go to the hospital, you have to get checked out. He's like, no, I just want to go home. I want to sit in this pain. I just want to throw me in the shower, run some cold water on me. I just want to feel how this feels for a while, because I just want to feel this pain to know that I did it. I'm like, what the frick?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's his mindset. But yeah.
And you know what? I know a lot of people will say, and I don't know, you might agree with that. It's a little too much. That people might think that's a little too psycho, but
it works for him.
It works for him, and I think that there's a certain type of person that to be happy, they have to push themselves to a limit like that.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, so I guess I guess my thing would be to the people that listen to this or don't. You know, what have you been doing? What have you been doing to really go after something? To really get to the top of that 5th hill spring, go, I want to throw myself off of this hill and just see what happens, you know? What have you been doing to get to that point? Because I don't really think you're living unless you get to get to a point where you're kind of maxing yourself out.
Right.
Testing your limits. And I don't know, maybe we get to, you know, we're young. Maybe we get to 45, 50, we have a different perspective, and we have kids, and that's really all that we need, you know, in our lives.
Right,
and
that is our maxed out.
And that is our maxed out, yeah. But I don't know. Right now, I just feel like, yeah, I'm very exhausted. Like I was sitting, I got to my desk, right? Because I had my protein smoothie. I sat in the shower, you know, threw up a few times,
there you go.
and then I came to work, and I just sat at my desk, like staring like at the blank screen for a few minutes because I was exhausted from work. I was exhausted from the workout.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, I had a few hours off since I was at the office last night at 8:00, but it wasn't enough really real time till, like you need a vacation to get over some of those days, Yeah. But I think that's like, and again, people will look at it and say, that's not balanced.
Right.
And my mom texts me sometimes and she goes, I hope you're able to, I don't remember the verbiage that she uses. I love her to death, but like she's a mom. She's gonna be concerned. She would rather see her son relaxing and because she doesn't understand that is what I need to do to fulfill, my purpose.
Right.
So yeah, even though I'm sitting there just beat, absolutely beat.
Right.
That is where like I feel the most peace in my life, which is kind of a wild thing. And that's where it comes back to, it's a marathon that you're sprinting in.
Right. And I think it's important during those times as well to realize you're doing it for yourself and like the betterment of the people around you, that kind of thing. Because at some point you don't want to forget that and you just gain the whole world and then forget who you were, other than like, I'm Tim who loves real estate versus like I do real estate. I'm just a real estate mogul. Like I'm not Tim anymore. Like,
I am just real estate.
Yeah. Still want to be yourself.
No, don't lose yourself. That's not what I'm saying. There's a difference between losing yourself. And I think to a certain extent, real estate has become a part of me. It's definitely it's intertwined to most of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. It's like, I don't I can't really put down my phone and without, I can't really put down my phone and walk away from it for a long period of time because there's duties and responsibilities that I have to take care of. Right. And I absolutely love what I do. But if tomorrow I woke up and real estate did not exist as a profession, I would find something else. It's kind of like what my dad said to me one time. I think it was maybe sophomore or junior year of high school. And I was, in the same way I'm obsessed with real estate right now, I was obsessed with distance running. For those of you who don't know, I know it's kind of hard to tell now, but I used to be a pretty long distance runner, and I'm talking like 120 mile weeks, 20 miles a day, just clicking off miles like you wouldn't believe. And I was obsessed with it. It took a lot of my time, and especially during summers when my dad would expect me to be working or mowing the lawn. We had 10 acres. There was a lot of stuff to keep up, and I'm really just focused on running. That was what was my passion. And he's a dad, and he wants you to be balanced, and that was another word they would just say, be balanced. You want to do other things, be balanced. And I was like, I don't really want to be balanced. I'm very tunnel vision focused on this. This is what makes me click. Right. There's a note in my notes app from like 6 or 7 years ago where I had a thought and I had to write it down because like, this is true. And that is that on some days, running is the only thing that makes me click or makes me work. And having that imbalance drove me to be a pretty dang good distance runner and helped me find a lot of fulfillment. My dad is sitting there and he goes, what happens if somebody takes that away from you? Because I said, I like running it's not who I am, but it's really what I do. Right. And it's pretty much a whole piece. It's a huge piece of who I am. Right. He said, what if you get hurt? What if it goes away? What if you don't have that anymore? And that's a great point, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's like, kind of checkmate. That's who you are right now. He's like, well, the way I couldn't believe that, my 17-year-old brain thought this up. And I was like, good job. I said, it's like a tree, at its roots, I would identify with God. At its roots, you have God, right? Right. And that's who I am, right? That's what I'm in. But running is a very large branch of that tree, and that's the branch that I'm sitting on. Right. But if somebody was to cut that branch off, there are other branches on that tree that I could go and find. And guess what? It came out to be true. You know why? Because now I have the same mindset about real estate that I had about distance running. Right. And distance running has been somewhat cut out of my life, but now I'm doing real estate, and that's kind of taken that place. Yeah. And so yeah, to those who kind of, you got to have balance, and you can't let it consume who you are, and you can't let the branch become the roots. Right. That's where it gets dangerous. But if you just want to hang out on that branch, just hang out on that branch, man.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something that like you enjoy, you're passionate about, and you're good at it, then freaking do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if that becomes difficult, even if that,
Yeah.
kind
there's
of sucks all of
difficulties.
your time and makes you weary and exhausted.
There's
That's
days that it sucks. Like, God, this sucks so bad.
yeah.
Why'd I do this? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, because I love it. It's great.
Yeah, because there are moments where I'm like incredibly rewarded by what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. So that is I think that's the huge piece. I think I feel very fortunate to have realized a bit of that because I look around and I don't know how this is gonna come off. I feel fortunate and I feel blessed. Because I do look around and I do see other people that are they're not happy,
Right.
and it's not that they're unhappy because they're putting in 12-hour days and they're exhausted all the time. It's they're unhappy because they put in their 8-hour work day and they're like, okay, back to work tomorrow, back to work the next day, have my 2 days off on the weekends,
Right.
my 2 weeks off during the summer, and then back to work. And there's just,
Right.
they're paying the boss man or they're feeding the money to the boss man
Right.
who's giving them a chunk of it back. And
We're working for the man.
yeah, it's a cycle. And, yeah, I don't know. I think some of breaking out of that does take a lot of courage.
Mm.
I'm done. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But I think some of that does take a lot of courage because, yeah, I mean, the rates of failure are high and the rates of success are low.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that at the end of the day, it's in your control.
100%. The people who quit are the ones who quit. The people who won are the ones who like wouldn't quit.
Yeah, just refused.
Yep.
Refused. Somebody, I heard it the other day. The no die attitude.
Right.
Just no die, man.
Right. Well, I was talking to someone today, and they were like, "Well, what's the worst case scenario if like you can't do video anymore? Like if you just had no business, nothing, like what would happen?" I'm like, I can't picture that. Like I can't imagine what that would what that would be like because I always will. Because I will always have clients because I always make it happen. Like I'm like, at first I was like, well, I guess I could work for this person and do this. I'm like, no, because I'm always going to have video stuff. I'm always going to find it. So that like moment to me was like, yeah, I'm not going to quit on video.
No, there's way too many avenues to success. And this is going to sound funny. There's way too many people.
Yeah.
There's way too many people. And what that means is that like if there were 10 of us in a room and that was all the people on earth, the odds of you being successful at videography are kind of low because there's not a lot,
It's a little rough out there.
It'd be a little rough. But there's so many people and so many opportunities. You just have to keep looking until you find it.
Right.
I mean, it's just like striking gold, and then eventually it's a snowball that picks up enough momentum and before you know it, then you have to hire people to work for you so that you can get stuff done.
Outsourcing. Yeah. I always say there's an audience for everything. There's always gonna be a fan base for something that you could be doing. You could be making pet rocks for a living, and someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I love this guy's pet rocks."
I freaking love pet rocks, man.
There's an industry for everything.
Yeah, there is.
You can sell dirt. People buy dirt. Like you can do anything. You just gotta figure out how to market it.
Yeah, when we met Ben, I had no clue that there was an industry for glass blowing. Really,
engraves marbles and like auctions them off. There's a huge market for that. So
huge market for marbles, man. Like, you can be successful, but I think what it does come back to is, how far are you willing to go for that?
Right.
How much can you do? And I think that's to all my people out there that are in that stage of life right now where you're kind of thinking about going out and taking a shot. This is your chance. This is your chance. This is your chance. So that's a great conversation. It's
beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great,
well,
it's a good reminder. It's good to process those things. You get them out there because if you don't, then I think you have trouble understanding what's going on within your own head. And when you don't really know yourself,
right,
then it's really hard to get stuff together when you start to feel feelings. And you're like, what am I feeling right now?
Right.
Why am I sitting at my desk right now and feeling like Oh, it's because I worked a lot this week and I had a hard workout this morning and I probably need a little caffeine in my system, you know?
I'm out right now.
I'll be all right. Yeah. So, all right. So we're changing pace here a little bit.
Switching it up.
So we talked about working hard, all that stuff. Well, now we're gonna have a little fun.
I'm excited.
Ethan and I, we like.
for this one.
What did you say?
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I am too. Anyway, Ethan and I, we really like our top 5 lists. It's just fun to come up with like, what are your top 5 icks? What are your top 5 celebrity crushes? What are your top 5? It's just fun, you know. It's fun to know those kinds of things. I love if you were the last person on the earth and there was like this one person, would you marry them and like make children and keep population going, or would you pass on it? You know, like things like that. Freaking love that stuff.
Pretty great.
And we want to be entertaining. We want to be entertaining to our people and not just have it be a motivational podcast. So today we are going to be talking about our top 5 red flags.
Yes, sir.
And that's just in general, I would say. It's not like top 5 red flags for girls that you're dating. It's not. It's just top 5 red flags for people in general.
I think, mine also work with girls that you'd be dating, so that's good too.
Okay, so you're okay. You can see we did a lot of planning beforehand. So his are with women, mine are in general.
Mine are like anyone, but also if a woman that you're romantically interested in.
Oh yeah,
as
if
far
they did
as
that,
in my eyes,
yeah,
head out.
Yeah.
But some people are
Get
going
on
to
out.
strongly disagree.
Get
So
on out.
we'll see
Okay,
what
I'm really
happens.
interested to see what you have on your list. So hit me with your number 1.
Number 1, talking in the third person. Jessica really doesn't want to do that today.
Oh my god, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a bad one. I will say that I will say it like as a joke, you know, like
Right.
like I will refer to myself as Realtor Tim in the third person.
Oh yeah. That's fine.
But man, like when somebody's like,
Persona.
yeah, Emma does not want to date people like that. I'm like, okay, Emma.
Ethan is really sleepy today. Like,
Yeah.
I can't stand that.
No.
Yeah, big red flag.
That's a tough one. That's a red flag.
You know, actually looking at it, all of my red flags are probably the same person. Like if you have this one, you probably have the rest. Anyway, go ahead.
you can like name the person.
Yeah, I think I just thought of a person.
And at the end, Ethan will name the person.
You might be it. Stick around.
My number 1 is people that do not say thank you or show gratitude.
Yeah, that's
Huge red flag. It just, you're spoiled, you're entitled, you're not thinking, you have to be self-aware.
Right.
And that is a non-self-aware behavior to not show thanks or show gratitude. Now, you don't have to be, I don't like it when people are like, oh my God, thank you so much. It's just like, it's a little like, okay,
a little too much.
we get it. But also just being like, you know, not showing any form of gratitude. Or very, very similarly, if you tell somebody you have a great day on the phone and then they don't say it back.
Ooh.
If you're like, all right, thanks so much. All right, take care. Have a good one. And they're like, thanks, bye.
Thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Or, yep.
They don't say like you too or have a good one as well. That's like, it's like, really?
It's like,
okay. Well, now I guess I won't have a good day.
I put my feelings out there for you, and I just got a yep back.
I showed you I care, and you spit on me.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your number
Brutal. Number 2, people. So this is like hugely controversial, but for me, it's a big red flag. Is people who have captions on while watching movies. Mostly TV is okay, but if you're watching a movie and captions are on,
I'm a red flag. Ethan.
I know. I figured. There's a lot
flag.
of people that do it.
Yeah, I do it.
I just can't stand it.
I truly believe I'm a bit hearing impaired.
Okay.
I would
fine.
absolutely contribute it to the volume with which I listen to music with on headphones and AirPods.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 100% on me. But Dre and I will be watching a show.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot hear what they're saying.
You're like, what?
Truly cannot tell what they're saying. She can, and she's
Right.
like, she gets annoyed at the captions, but I can't tell what they're saying.
It's brutal.
So unless we blast the volume, I'm not gonna be able to tell what they say.
Do you have any kind of like surround sound system or anything?
We're talking TV. That's
That
probably
might help.
another red flag.
That might no. It's okay if I'm not like a huge audiophile or anything,
Sure.
but having a surround sound system might help.
That's fair. All right,
But
all right.
anyway,
That's a good one.
That's a brutal one for me.
That is a solid red flag. My red flag number 2, if you're an only child. Major red flag. There's just
That's a hard one because
things-
they can't control that.
Sure, but you know what? We're not talking about controllable red flags.
That's true. Actually, one of mine is not controllable. Oh, well, debatable. We'll see.
It's not controllable. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But only children. Just there's a certain perspective on life they just don't have.
That's true.
There's nothing like I'm the third out of four siblings.
Mm-hmm.
I was fighting for my life, man. Fighting for my life. And there's just something that I don't relate to if you don't have some form of sibling
Another
that you
sibling.
at one point competed with for love.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, especially if it's a only child homeschooled kid.
Oh, see now that do they exist?
Yeah,
What happens to them when they get to be 18?
I think they just disappear. I think like the world just sucks
Do
them
they?
up.
Yeah, like
I
do
don't-
they
I haven't met one.
evaporate?
Yeah. I had a few like growing up, but in the real world, maybe they just hide it because they're just so embarrassed, so they just don't
Yeah.
ever go outside.
Yeah.
But
It's like that one kid from Benchwarmers.
someone's listening. Well, probably not. But they're like,
Yeah, I hate these guys. Good. If this makes you mad, good. I'm glad. It's like the kid from Benchwarmers who's
Yeah,
afraid of the sun.
sun.
He's like,
under the tables.
yeah.
That's so funny.
Okay, my number. No, it's your
it's
turn.
my
It's your
turn,
Number
right?
3.
Left-handed people.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was because they also write weird. Like
Yeah,
they don't
do.
like
They're like
they aren't. Yeah. They don't use their fingers right,
terrible.
or they have this wicked
Yeah,
like
they're like-
wraparound
they're-
thing. Yeah. I know that it's like my left hand's better, but I don't know. People were forced into writing with their right hand, and
Yeah, good. They should
Yeah.
have been. They should still do that.
no, 100%. Bring it back.
There's some grosser statistics about that, but I won't get into it.
Well,
In other countries, in other countries where
Uh-huh.
they don't use toilet paper, the left
Oh,
hand
yeah.
is used.
So yeah, I was in a Latin class in high school, which is
Yeah.
probably a red flag, but yeah, the left hand.
You said Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Any school where they teach Latin, instant red flag.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. We won't go into my red flags, but yeah, the left hand was your unclean hand for
Yeah.
many purposes, but also cleansing your
Yeah.
self.
Yes. Number 3. People who say it's giving.
Yeah.
It's giving. Somebody said, yeah, you give. Somebody the other day said to me, you give hockey player, and I was like, I give hockey player what? I give what?
I give what? What are you
I-
talking about?
That doesn't make sense. Stop
Yeah.
saying it. It's a huge red flag. I instantly know that your personality is a personality type that I will make fun of.
Yeah. It was maybe okay for like a week for me when it was like a big trend, like it's giving this. I was like, okay, I understand what this is like saying now. It took me a while to understand what it meant at first
Yeah.
anyway.
Just say
but
you have such and such vibes.
yeah, you're
Okay.
giving off this vibe.
You're giving off hockey player vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Say that rather than saying you're giving hockey player.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're missing like, I'm not an English expert, but I feel like you're missing some
Oh, 100%.
pertinent sentence formation
It's
things.
probably the only a lot of slang I've heard and said that's dumb, that's stupid, and then I immediately start using it.
right.
It's giving is one of those slang terms that I have heard. It's been around for a few years now, and I denounce it. I hate it, and it's a huge red flag.
It's giving annoying.
It's giving horribleness. I can't even think of a good word to
couldn't
come
either.
after that.
annoying.
All right. What's your third or fourth?
My fourth is also probably super controversial, but horoscope people.
Oh, big red flag. My fiance is a huge horoscope person.
Yep.
She believes that everything I do is because of the day that I was
Yep.
born.
It's like, well, you are a Pisces, so that does make sense. It's like, no, that's not why. I mean, some stuff it's like, well, that is a part of my personality, but I
Yeah.
refuse to believe that it's part
No,
of because
go
of the
read through them all.
rising.
Go read through them all. You can pull out characteristics of
Every
every
single
single one of those.
Yeah, I watched the thing about like these were made because like most people can, if you think that you fit in this category, you will make yourself think you fit in that
Yeah.
category.
Exactly.
But
You
some things do happen.
read
where-
it about somebody assigns you a label,
right.
and if you look at it and it's something you kind of want it to be, then
Right.
you're like, absolutely.
Gonna make it happen.
And on the same on the same line as horoscope people,
Mm-hmm.
people who believe in crystals.
Yeah.
We say on this show we're accepting of all faiths and beliefs, except for people who believe in crystals. Your rocks don't have magical powers, okay?
a lot of my friends that go home have
They
mini rocks.
don't work. Somebody was wearing like a crystal around their neck, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool necklace." And that person was like, "Oh yeah, it's my prosperity stone." And I'm like,
You're like, all right.
"I'll show you my prosperity stone." Showed him my like bank account.
Hard work. My gold.
Yeah.
My gold card. Gosh. Brutal.
Sorry.
My platinum American Express.
I have no respect for people that.
I forgot to cleanse my stones. Now I gotta
Yeah.
wait 2 months.
Shoot, that's why I had bad luck today.
Yeah. Or like, it makes sense. Saturn is rising right now. Yeah. Yeah, pretty brutal.
Why do I want to kill people right now? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a half moon. Right now,
Frick,
yeah.
no, it makes sense.
Number 4 for myself is it's a two-parter. People that don't care about money and people that are stingy with their money. Throwing back to the phone call. No. People that are stingy with their money, as in like somebody you buy them or they buy you like an ice cream cone at Dairy Queen or an ice cream cone at McDonald's, and then they bug you about the Venmo request.
Like,
And I
dude,
get that.
still
Look,
lonely.
I throw money at people all the time. I gave Ethan $10 last week for
Let's go,
for-
dude. I bought 1 cup of coffee and it was gone. I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
Not again. I was pretty
But
talk
that's-
about stingy. I was pretty upset about that.
Yeah, I mean that is quite a bit for a cup of coffee. But people that are really irresponsible with their money and then complain about not having money.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're a fool, and and you don't deserve to have money because of the way that you act around money. And then like the kind of the red flag portion that comes into that is when, if somebody does something very simple or small for you, I give Garrett a hard time about this all the time because Garrett gave me a ride to campus like 3 years ago. And Garrett was real bad. Garrett, there's a few instances, and I'll share this with him, and he's totally fine with this being shared. He wanted me to Venmo him like 25 cents for driving a mile from our house to school. Because he gave me a ride one time for gas money, 25 cents. Another time, he charged Dre $1 for a White Claw.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Because 25 cents, I'm like, oh, it's just like just a funny, like, just random dude, like, bro thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
dude,
no,
you have 25 cents still, but, like,
sometimes
sending
I'll
it to
Venmo
a
my
chick-
boys 69
like,
cents just because it's funny.
Yeah. But doing it to, like, a girl for a drink.
Here's your. It wasn't even a White Claw. It was a knockoff Costco White Claw.
Yikes, dude.
Yeah. So yeah,
Come on.
and that's the thing is like, don't get me wrong. Somebody pays money that like reimburse people. Don't be the asshole that like. See, and on the flip side, like, don't be the asshole that like let somebody pay for your thing. Or, like,
Right.
if you're going to a concert or something, like, don't let them pay for the tickets and then not Venmo them. Like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
There's a balance, is what I'm
100%,
saying.
yeah.
There's a balance. Don't be like nitpicky about little tiny things, but also like if you make a Costco run, make sure the people pay you back for the Costco run. You know.
100%.
So there's a balance there. But it's a major red flag when they're
It's a red flag when people don't see that balance.
exactly huge red flag when you're either on either end of the spectrum, like you refuse to pay back for like large things, or you just insist that people pay you back for like the tiniest, like, 25 cent transaction. I went to Ace Hardware yesterday, and he gave me a screw. It was one screw I needed, 20 cents. He hands me and goes, 20 cents. I thought he was just going to hand it to me and give it to me. And it's fair. Hey, I paid for it.
Jeez.
20 cents. I think it probably
It's hard
cost
out
them
there.
more to process my transaction.
Oh, yeah. You did it through Venmo then?
No, it was like a card, but there's card fees.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
That was wild.
Brutal.
Anyway, that might be a controversial topic. What's your number 5?
Number 5. People who are okay with holes in their socks. I even have like an
That's a-
inkling of a hole, and I'm like, dang it, dude, gonzo.
How do you feel about holes in underwear?
See, that's tough because underwear's so freaking expensive. And I don't know what I have like a special talent that I can just like rub a pair gone in like 2 months. So it's not uncommon that I'm rocking like a pinhole or something. And Heidi makes fun of me for it every once in a while. We recently did a whole restock, so I'm good now. But
Okay, that's good.
it's hard. I don't know.
Yeah,
Honda is a little
I'm
different.
with you on that. I absolutely hate the feeling. Two things: you get blisters.
Right.
You get
It's a feeling
blisters,
thing. I
and
can't feel the holes in my underwear usually.
It's a horrible, and it's just embarrassing to have your socks off and just have a big ass hole in the
hole.
heel. Like that's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're poor.
It's like, yikes, dude. It's like take your shoes off, like when you go into a house, but then if you have a hole in your sock, do not take your shoe
Yeah,
off. That kind of thing.
exactly.
And I don't want your foot on my carpet.
Yeah, I would say a big red flag about me is that I often wear mismatching socks, like
Dude, I miss it all the time.
consistently.
Yeah.
Super embarrassing to go to showings where you take your shoes off and like
Mhm.
you have like a neon yellow sock and a black sock.
Are they the same
on.
brand usually, or do you brand match, or do you?
So my biggest one is Adidas. I have Adidas ankle socks in gray, white, and black.
Mhm.
And there's a 50% chance. Well, there's a 30% chance they match.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, as long as they're the same brand and like cut style,
Yeah.
golden.
Yeah, it would be. I actually think people should be. If you were to wear like a crew sock and an ankle sock together,
Yeah.
you should be thrown in
That's
jail.
a problem.
You should be thrown in jail.
I'd be late for my appointment and then wash
Yes.
a pair of socks or something.
Yes. Okay. And my number 5. This is an interesting one. It's people that like they are super excited. Like they when you see them, they're like, "Hi, like, super excited to see you."
Oh no.
Yeah. And do you know what I'm referring to? Okay.
There was a few that pertained, but yeah.
And they're just really excited to see you. They're thrilled, like they look thrilled and they act thrilled. And they're like the entire conversation. They're just super like they have amazing things to say about you. They make you feel amazing. And then if you ever were to try to like get them to do something, or if you ever to ask a favor of them or invite them to something, they're not showing up. They're
Nope.
not coming through. And it's like, okay, cool. You're a people person, and that's it.
Right.
You know.
You're trying
That's
to
a
win
red
me
flag.
over, and that's it.
Yeah, that is a red flag. I got 2 more. 6 and 7. 6 is anyone who watches Selling Sunset, Keeping Up with the Kardashians,
Yeah.
The Voice, or American Idol. And I would
The
say
Voice or American
on those
Idol?
last 2,
that's
no.
tough.
You can watch it, okay?
Okay.
You can watch it. What you cannot do is become incredibly emotional
Yeah.
or hit the Reddit message boards in anger over the winner, okay?
That's valid.
Because it's reality TV and they pre-scripted a winner for this thing. And you know they did because American Idol in their fine print states that they have the right to select the winner of the show no matter what the people choose.
Sheesh. I
So,
didn't know that.
yeah, the first 2, Selling Sunset, Keeping Up with the Kardashians,
That I totally understand.
you do that,
It's brutal.
it's like, it's filling your head with la, 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 la.
So you're actually not doing anything for yourself.
Yeah. But the second 2 is people who get incredibly passionate about the winners and losers of shows and who should have won.
Are you a Survivor fan at all?
I love Survivor.
That doesn't-
Absolutely love Survivor.
You don't get a little,
I will not get emotional about it.
wow.
I will not get emotional about it. I can't get emotional about it. It's reality TV. And it's
Survivor goes
people
hard.
that have no connection to me whatsoever. And I understand. I felt the same way with that show, The Perfect Match.
Oh,
But then I thought
yeah.
to myself, these are scumbag people.
They're out of the client, the CRM.
they're scumbag people. They spent their entire show drinking. They're going to have amazing lives after this. I don't feel bad for any of them. They're gonna win.
Get burned. Yeah, that is brutal. That's
Yeah.
why I watch Love at First Sight, because like there's multiple winners.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Are you a big Survivor fan as well?
I am not like a huge fan, but I started watching. Went from season 1. I'm going through.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
I think on Survivor, I think it's perfectly fine to like somebody or dislike somebody. But Survivor is a show where the participants pick the winner.
Right.
So it's hard to get upset over who won the show because whoever won the show on Survivor played the game,
Right.
right? I do think it's totally fine to pick favorites and hate people.
Oh,
Because
yeah. That's
there
the
are
best
people.
part.
The best part of Survivor is just like, God, I just hate you, man.
When they get screwed over at some point,
Yeah.
you're like, you freaking deserve it.
Yeah, I'm so happy that this happened to you.
That's the best part of watching
Yeah.
Survivor.
Anyway, yeah, that's our red flags. That was awesome. That was really fun.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
I
do
would
that.
say only ChatGPT only picked a few of those for me. So.
Okay, all right. Which ones did it pick?
Actually, so the horoscope one, it said hippie, like it just said hippies, and I'm like,
Hippies are a huge
it
red
inspired
flag.
me, the
yeah.
horoscope, and then talking in the third person was another
Okay.
chat GPT one.
Yeah,
but
that's
the,
good.
The rest came off the old noggin, and it's something
Yeah.
I agreed with. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, that's awesome. Well, word of the day.
word of the day, hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
Yep.
Glamorous.
Woo.
Dre made me watch Queer Eye the other day.
Dude, Queer is good.
I struggle.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of those things that they're doing.
I have to search through the ones. I'm like, no, that one seems it could be. There's like a guy, he's like a fish guy. He owns like a seafood
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
That's a money episode.
Yeah.
But I get like, I can only watch like one every month or so.
Yeah. She kind of went on like a little marathon, and I'm like, wanna watch something else maybe.
This isn't really my speed.
Yeah, I'm not a clothes person. The food is always cool when they cook the food.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That one guy who's like the shrink who like sits him down like, so like, just tell me like, why are you so poor? Like,
Yeah.
why
why do you suck?
yeah.
Tell me about why people don't like you.
Yeah. He's like, I think I have a few ideas, but I really want to hear why you think you have no
I think I
friends."
know why your life is bad.
Those are
but
my favorite segments.
But I want to hear you say it.
He's like, let me take you over a drink after those, so we can be friends. I love that guy.
Yeah. Glamorous. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Go watch Queer Eye on Netflix.
Good one.
All right. Hypocrisy. What does that even mean?
Just people who are hypocrites.
Hypocrites.
Yeah.
Okay, so hypocrisy. I was
Just
thinking like the
hypocrisies.
Hippocratic Oath.
Oh yeah.
But that's.
I hope that's not what that means. I could be completely wrong now.
means. Do as I say, not as I do.
I just hear hypocrisy. No, that's what I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in for another episode of Tim Talks. It's just it's great to be able to take this snippet of our day. I really enjoy just having a space where, whether or not you're listening to this, having a space to do this. So if you tune in, I really do appreciate it, and it does mean a lot. And if you're listening to this via something you saw on Instagram, glad you're able to join us. So go out to all the places and let us know that you're there, because that means a lot to us. So like, follow, and subscribe. But thank you for being here with us. Thank you, Ethan, for joining the show on a
My
moment's
pleasure.
notice.
My pleasure.
You guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, and let us roll the outro music.